Hmm. I guess I'll put some music on, which I checked. It should be a decent volume, so we'll just have to see, I guess. Oh yeah, that's why. That's okay then. There we go. Oh. Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, that's no problem. I was just doing some boring shit. Tell me if the music is too loud or anything. I think it's probably good. Excuse me. Alright, good. Because, I think, on my side, it was pretty good last time. Oh, what am I getting texted for? Alright. I had to put Stu away at some point. Whatever. The fuck, man. Stupid cunt. I'm not responding though anymore. It is hot right now, okay, so I'm not doing it now then. Nope, not responding to you. Told you. But yeah, I've just been doing some kind of boring setup stuff for these scripts and shit. Yeah, that's no problem with the podcast. When you do upload it, just as it usually is, it'll be plenty of time to listen to it. That's for sure. Like almost nearly 6 hours or whatever. Oh, what the fuck? Man, fucking ChatGPT, I don't know what stupid bullshit you're cooking up here, but tool to okay, fair enough. I don't want giant 5,000 lines of code or whatever. But yeah, 5,000 lines of fucking code, single scripts. So hopefully ChatGPT can steer me down the right line of better script organization in that sense. But who fucking knows what kind of dumb mess it's gonna fucking get me into. All right, so view models. Okay. View models. View models. Two, three, four. Yeah, I thought it was alright. Your video. So you talked about the two stories. You had the one story with the, oh yeah, the stupid cunt at the, the closed pharmacy. And what was the second story? What was the second story? Or was that second story just about the one you told before with the making fun of the guy for the Valentine's Day? I forget which one that was. And yeah, the chicken salad looked like it came out alright. The bacon, that's one of those things that if you did make it like crispier, even if you don't like it like that, I think the crispy probably would hold up better inside of a mixture like that, like a wet mixture, just because it would still probably be kind of wet. Or not kind of wet, it would, it being that, like, crispy would kind of still keep its texture somewhat, but the taste would probably still be overpowered by the pickle, or the relish, or whatever you want to call it. And you used a little hand grater, which seemed to work pretty well, but man, I fucking hate the, then again, the main thing I hate the hand graters for is doing fucking cheese. I mean, I'll probably show it if I make a video where I make those frittatas or whatever. I have this, like, manual, like, hand crank, grater thing. And, rotary grater thing or some shit. And, it's not really great for grating, like, most things. But, it works really well for grating hard and semi-soft cheeses, like mozzarella, cheddar, Swiss, like a block of that shit. It works fucking great for that. Because doing that by hand fucking blows ass. Every time I've done grating by hand, it always sucks. And I have like I got like two different kind of graters, and I don't really like hand graters, and I'm not a big fan of either of them. But, I mean, they work, but I just don't like fucking using them. Oh yeah, you know what it's also good for? The crank one is good for grating butter, which grating butter is very useful for freezing the butter afterwards in like aluminum foil, and then using that in either pie crust or scone dough or whatever. Because trying to do that shit before it's already cut up like that is way more of a pain in the ass, making it frozen. So it's way easier to grate it, then freeze it, then use it. So that thing works really well for that too. And I think it was only like, I don't know, like 20 bucks or some shit. But it wouldn't work very well, probably. It might, but I don't think it would work that well for pickles. Like, maybe it would. I think it might just kind of mash them up a little bit. Not that you probably want to use that every single time or whatever, unless you made, like, big batch. Inventory item view model. .cs. Recipe item. I don't know why the fuck it thinks it's an item, but okay, ChatGPT. Okay. Ingredient slot view model. I didn't mind grating, but I imagine hard cheeses would become it. Yeah, it's not even that they're like hard to grate, it's just the farther you get down the block, the more difficult it becomes. And the bigger the block, man, it fucking really starts to cramp the fuck out of your wrist or whatever. It sucks. And it's hard to get the very last pieces unless you have like a fucking chainmail glove or some shit, because, you know, once it gets to the very bottom, it gets fucking like really not risky or whatever one, but like it gets really doesn't feel safe, because you fucking like you're grading at the very, very edge, just like one nice slip and you're gonna fucking give a nice fucking cut of your fingers. It sucks. I haven't gotten cut yet from grading, but I always just feel like very uneasy doing trying to get the very last bits. It fucking is annoying. But probably probably a good way to do the chicken, as you said, without a food processor, is like you said, probably dice them up pretty decently, and then maybe like mush them up a little bit with like some kind of tool, like a fork or a spoon or something, just to get the fibers released a little bit. And that would probably make it a lot easier to get it apart without using a food processor, to make it like that kind of nicer, chunkier texture or whatever. I'll probably try that next time, but it kind of really depends. Even when I boil the chicken for a while, it still doesn't always get tender enough to like do it easily, super easily by fork. View models. I don't want to copy all that bullshit, but okay. I'll just get rid of that. Windows view models. View models. Yeah. Yeah, it looked like the one thing I would add, but maybe that'll be maybe since you already had the relish, so maybe it would overpower it a little bit. This is just my opinion. Is I would add some Dijon mustard and dill, dried dill, like the spiced dried dill or whatever. I think the Dijon definitely adds a nice flavor, but you don't want to go, I guess, too overboard with it, but maybe you do, because I think Dijon tastes good. And the dill, I guess, just adds more of that, like, kind of pickly taste, and a little bit more of, like, an herbal kind of, aroma or whatever. At the very least, it's worked pretty well in the, chicken salad recipes I've used or whatever. Alright, view models. Now I gotta open up Unity again. Yeah, dried dill, it smells surprisingly nice. It's... I don't really know if I would describe it like having the kind of scent or aroma of pickles. Probably a little bit, but it's almost a little bit distinct on its own. But it's a nice spice, I guess, for certain things. Probably best for stuff like cold, like salad stuff like that, like egg salad, chicken salad, whatever else, ham salad, whatever the fuck people would make. Potato salad, probably. Okay, yeah, I need to launch Unity again so it can fucking, what would you call it? Populate the stupid meta file bullshit. Metadata bullshit. Thanks, ChatGPT. You could have told me earlier, you would have added more fucking files. Then again, who knows if this direction that ChatGPT is leading me here. I mean, it's, you know, kind of seems to make some sense structurally, so I'm like, okay. Because otherwise, my only method that I've used so far has been, like, fucking just making one gigantic, impossible to maintain fucking script that is just like a fucking mess of giant wall of code. Unmaintainable. Unmaintainable and barely modular, which is not fun to work with when you know you're gonna have to expand stuff later and add on to it and everything. It works, but it's not fun to go back to it. This is a pretty good, what would you call this, mix, I guess. It's a pretty good mix that I had on my playlist. I mean, it's like all Toho songs, obviously, but they're pretty good. Alright, so... what's wrong with this? Oh, yeah, cannot be found. Fair enough. Unity has launched. The metadata should be populated. So close it again. Now open the one view model something. Inventory item view model. Inventory item view model. Why this pattern is strong. UI is replaceable. Filtering logic lives in one place. Sorting logic lives in one place. State lives in one place. Handles are dumb renderers. Surface handles brewing. This is maintainable even if your mod doubles in size. Well, I sure hope so, ChatGPT. What the hell is this? Oh, okay, yeah. I just asked it where it should go. Okay, fair enough. mixed. Ooh, the hell is that from? Selected ingredients. What? Oh, yeah, I don't know where the fuck it made those methods up, but okay. Sure thing, Chad. This is the problem with vibe coding. Is that after you get to a certain point of going through it, it kind of like forgets what it's already done, or told you like what would be a good idea to do, and then it can kind of just start redoing steps and then making it even more confusing, trying to tell you, oh yeah, make this new file when you already have it and shit, and it's like, oh fuck. So you kind of have to use it for like the very beginning, and then just kind of do your own thing until you like really need help with like one certain fucking thing here and there. Otherwise, trying to get it to like help you with the entire process, it's just gonna fuck you. It's gonna fucking confuse the shit out of you after a while. And this is why, this is why the AI bubble shit is not going to, it's not gonna work out in terms of, oh yeah, we're gonna replace every fucking entry-level coder or whatever bullshit. It's like, it's not gonna happen. The, having it do stuff like advanced shit after a while, it just doesn't hold up. Yeah, like, it's really handy as a tool to like do a few things here and there, and also to get you kind of started on like a little like base, like a framework or whatever. But if you kind of try to go deeper into certain parts of it, as you keep getting, as whatever project you're doing is getting bigger, it just fucking like, it just really throws a wrench into it. Like maybe if you had your own like local model bullshit or something, and you had it completely trained on your exact project the entire time, or you copy and pasted your entire fucking project every time to it to basically be like, hey, look at this and reference this. But if you don't do that, and with the free models or whatever, and the ones that aren't like locally hosted or whatever the fuck on your computer, like, it's gonna forget shit, and it's going to eventually start fucking you over if you just like completely rely on it to do all that shit. It's just gonna stop. It's gonna be more of a hindrance after a point. Like, for this initial kind of shit, it's helpful, but after that, it can be problematic. Okay, so I mean, I'm not even entirely sure what the hell it's... okay, so the inventory item view model, that is just a class that it's going to basically use for the individual, I guess, items for rendering them or whatever. I mean, it's kind of fucking confusing. Like, I get what it's trying to do, but it's definitely, at a glance, kind of confusing. But hopefully, over time, this extra confusion will make it more maintainable, potentially. Because, yeah, like I said, having like a 5,000 line, a single file script is just fucking unmaintainable after a while. It just becomes a impossible to decipher mess if you leave it for like a few weeks. Not even like like a week or two. You'd be like, what the hell am I looking at? And not that this can't be confusing either, it's just, it's a lot less likely to be. Or it's a lot more digestible individually. Okay, but now what? Now what, ChatGPT? Now what? Ooh, refresh inventory. Okay, well, where does that go? Alright, maybe that's in, controller. And it does that shit sometimes, and like, unless you like poke it more, like, tell me where the fuck this should go. Don't just like give me a method and then be like, oh yeah, well okay, where should that method go? Which script? Which fucking class? Alright, refresh inventory. So, you already have that, but... but it looks completely different than the other one, so what the hell are you talking about, ChatGPT? Alright, so what was it talking about? Fucking... view model shit. Domain, real gameplay concepts, blah 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 blah, runtime, services, logic, view model, UI projections. Huh. Tooltip text, icon texture, reference, color state, blah 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 blah. If that file grows, if it lives inside Alchemy UI controller, that file becomes noisy. Interesting way to put that. Improves discoverability. What in the fuck do you mean by that? Discoverability. Think of view models as what the UI needs to know and nothing more. Wow. Not reference panel, not reference game manager, not contain brewing logic, not mutate inventory. They are pure data carriers. Wow. Can even view models inventory. No. If you'd like, I can next explain the subtle differences between runtime state, inventory view model, recipe definition. Well, okay, just fucking tell me where... Before, where should that refresh inventory method go? What class, what script should it be contained in? Alchemy UI controller? Controller? Alright, well why did you give me some other bullshit then? Okay, so you already did that, you fucking thing. You already split it up, but then you told me another way to do it or something? Like, why would you do that? What? Yeah, like even now, it's starting to already fucking be unnecessarily confusing the way it's doing some of this shit. Like it gave me one thing of, oh yeah, do it this way, but then it gave me completely another one afterwards. It's like, what? Like I'm already getting to the point of like a little bit like, I might want to just completely stop asking ChatGPT for advice on this because it's already getting a little bit fucky. But I'm gonna read through these scripts a little bit that it gave me and try and comprehend what the hell it's trying to do. So you got kind of main one, Alchemy window, and then it references that it's got UI controller, left panel. Then it has its constructor. And then it references setup, which is from the Daggerfall UI, or yeah, Daggerfall pop-up window class. Okay, controller equals new Alchemy UI controller. Fair enough. Root panel is native panel. Left panel equals left panel dot initialize native panel. Okay, so controller is, yeah, it's not, it's outside that. Wire panel events to controller. Left panel on ingredient clicked. Controller handle ingredient clicked. Left panel on search changed. Handle inventory search changed. Controller initialize. Huh? What the fuck? What is this initialize doing exactly? Ugh. State.inventory search. Well, what the hell is... what is state? Okay. Runtime state. Well, okay, well, give me the code for runtime state, then. You fucking... What the hell? You're gonna make stupid assumptions, ChatGPT, as usual? Can you give me the... Okay. So, you referenced... time state in the Alchemy UI controller, but you didn't give me what the code inside Alchemy runtime state should be. Can you do that, if possible? God, this is one of those situations where it's like, yeah, because doing it like this is not great, because ChatGPT is like just an amalgamation or whatever of like other people's code and like how they would do it. And when you're asking it for help in that way for designing this kind of shit, you're kind of basically trying to then understand somebody else's code instead of doing it yourself, making it the way that you would, which is, while it might not be the best practices, it also makes it a lot more understandable for you generally at the end of the day, because you're the one who designed like what everything is doing and where it's going and stuff. Whereas in this case, you're trying to understand somebody else's code essentially and how they would do it, and mold yourself to that, which I find a lot more difficult than just doing it yourself. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Well, besides wasting my time and then just fucking doing it myself anyway. Like, it's one of those things, like, I definitely want to do certain things the way that it's doing, such as breaking up these scripts into these, like, separate, things, instead of just having one giant script. But at the same time, it's difficult to know what to break that stuff into and like why. And at least with stupid ChatGPT shit, it does give like quote unquote reasons to why it's doing that. And it kind of like gives a general idea of like what it's doing it for, and like, you know, oh yeah, this is a practice that makes sense, blah blah blah, for this reason, because you want to break up this to not run logic, but to only do its own thing, kind of shit. But if you don't really like do that very often, then it becomes kind of fucking confusing. Minimal clean implement, blah 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 blah, fucking stupid bullshit it adds in. Alchemy runtime state, okay. Okay, sure. I'll just do that then. It probably is still gonna fuck up, but we'll see. Oops. But yeah, certain stuff like this, when it gets to this kind of like level of complexity, can very quickly become a bit overwhelming, which is why people will kind of go to stuff like ChatGPT to try and make it less overwhelming in theory, but in a lot of cases that's not the case. It doesn't really work out that way. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay. Like here, it already assumed that you had some fucking enum with this sort mode, so it's like, oh, okay, well, you didn't give me that, so. I guess I can't blame it, because it's not like I gave it what kind of sort modes that I plan on having either. I read-only list view long does not contain a definition for add. Weird. Well, I mean, I can understand, but I'm like, yeah, I don't know why it pulled that out of its ass. Sort. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. God. Support. Okay, so it did give the enum shit. The sort mode enum. Fair enough. I don't even feel like adding it right now, though, because then I would have to open up fucking Unity again. No thanks. Oh, wait, no. It already did have that. Okay. Alright, fair enough. I'll add that in then. Hey. Alright, close out of that. Open with Visual Studio. Now, are you good? It's not like it fucking matters with these stupid errors for the most part, but eh. I can't imagine what the hell that's from. Dexterous. I mean, she looks like she has just as dexterous fingers as any other human, so I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. I guess she's in heat, and she needs to be fingered by a Q-tip. Wow, okay, yeah, that's totally not a sync. Don't worry, guys. We totally didn't just talk about that in our last podcast. Or anything. Makes sense, right? Makes perfect sense if you don't think about it. Alright, ChatGPT, I don't even know where you're fucking trying to lead me here, because you really didn't give me... You gave me like 1,000 scripts, but, Yep. Black Mirror is always at it. What the user has currently configured in his open Alchemy. What the fuck are you... What are you leading me down, ChatGPT? Yes, you need Alchemy runtime state. It lives in runtime. It stores search. What the fuck, dude? This is some dumb fucking shit. Okay, yeah, now what? Now what do we do? Next, I can show you how the state interacts cleanly with Alchemy service brew so the entire flow is cohesive and testable. Sure. How about it? See what fucking bullshit you throw at me now. Domain brew result. I think it already had that file. Yeah, it does. Okay. That's good. Uh, what the fuck, man? What are you goddamn doing? ChatGPT, what are you doing? Like, how is any of this testable? Because how is any of this going to be testable yet? Because you didn't even fucking, like, put button positions or anything. Like, what the hell? You're jumping the shark here. You're going too far ahead without even getting some of the basic shit done here. Yeah, like, what are you fucking doing, ChatGPT? Why, what? Why, what, and why? This is not any way that somebody would do this, I don't think. Like, fucking, oh yeah, let's not even set up workable anything yet. Let's just assume every system is already there. Like, no. This is like, some of this is like not at all what I would do. I agree with the breaking the scripts up into separate things and folders and files and stuff and classes, but I don't agree with the way that it's fucking trying to actually write the code now, where it's like all fucking, oh yeah, do this one now and do that one now. Oh wait a minute, I forgot. I was thinking, I was like, something seems off, and the fucking music, the music stopped. I'll put on my next mix that I had lined up, I guess. What are you fucking talking about? What are you even getting into, ChatGPT? What the fuck? You've jumped like 20 fucking steps here for no reason. Show how to make this testable without DFU run. How would you... What? How? Or show how to integrate your saves... What? Or show how to prevent stale UID issue. Okay, shut the fuck up. We've already been through some of that dumb shit. Why would we need to get into that now? Okay, just tell me now. Show how to make this testable without DFU running. Like, what the hell could you possibly do? Right now, your Alchemy service still references player entity, player unity item, item builder. It's titled to DFU runtime. To make it testable without DFU running, you must remove direct DFU types from the server. What? Like, I get what it's kind of trying to do here, but it's really not explaining it in a good way. It is now pure logic. Wow. Create a simple test implementation. This can live in a test... Oh god, in a test project, or even temporarily in your mod room. What are you fucking smoking? Alright, so I think I might have just wasted... Okay, I didn't waste any time, because I learned from this that I should not be using ChatGPT for this specific purpose here, because it has sprawled out way too much and is going way too far into shit that I don't think is necessary at all. So I think all I'm gonna use ChatGPT in this case is for, like, very small, at least for this specific purpose, for this UI stuff, is very small, like, generic methods that I need to do, like looping through shit or whatever. Stuff like that, and maybe a few other questions, but trying to ask it basically give me entire fucking scripts or code for these files that you're kind of like giving me as a structural thing, it's going on a completely different fucking way that I would, and I don't like it. So I'm just gonna fucking basically leave it with that, and then I'm just going to do my own thing. for whatever, maybe entirely, and not even like follow its particular way of organizing this, because I think it's a little bit much in the breaking down of some of the things. Like, this is one of the most difficult things of designing, like, larger kind of projects and stuff, more complex projects, is trying to kind of organize the stuff in a way that will make it easier to maintain in a later time and add to or whatever. Like, it's difficult to kind of design for that, because you have to think of every kind of not so much possibility, but like every kind of thing beforehand, and be like, alright, I want it to be like this, because otherwise I'll have to redo that later or some bullshit, and it'll be way harder. But yeah, right now, this shit with this shit with having ChatGPT fucking design it is just not it's not working in this case. Like, it worked. Well, actually, I don't even know if it necessarily worked. Like, for some of it might have, but certain parts of the potion shit didn't make sense either. But With this, it's just making even less sense. Like, I don't think ChatGPT is particularly good at making it easy to work with UI, it seems. So, I am just gonna delete basically all of that. And just kind of start fresh here because, yeah, this is just getting a fucking mess already with its way of doing it. So delete that shit. Delete that. Delete that. Delete this. But yeah, as I was saying, this is why, okay, maybe it's not the only reason why, but this is I think one of the big reasons why this stuff isn't going to be replacing all developers or whatever the fuck anytime soon in the software field or whatever. It's just not like it's not as easy or whatever, as seamless as they want people to believe or whatever, as they've hyped it up to be. So what I think I am gonna ask ChatGPT about is basically saying, okay, so just give me the fucking design of, like, how you would structure this shit in a manageable way, but don't give me any fucking code, because your coding practice and your coding organization is shit, and it's confusing as fuck. And frankly, it's wasting my time, ChatGPT. I need something different than what you're putting out here. But with that in mind, I think I'm mostly just going to be, not so much copy and pasting from my other UI design that I've made for another mod, but probably using that as a somewhat template for a lot of this, because I know that it works. And I have no idea if, like, ChatGPT's bullshit it was spewing out was gonna work, so at the very least I have something that I know does work in practice, even if it's kind of messy and sprawling in size. It's not even that messy, it's just very sprawling in size. It's hard to it's difficult to scope it down, I guess. So I guess I'll use some of the scripts that it brought up, because it seemed like they made enough sense, I guess. Such as Alchemy window. And use that. As my base. Oh wait, no, I already have this. Potion crafting window. Yeah. I'm just looking at it more, I'm like, I have a feeling, even though, as I said, I kind of like splitting it up into these more manageable scripts and pieces and everything, but I just have a feeling I'm not gonna be fucking using the shit that ChatGPT was spewing. It's I don't know, it was becoming in itself unmanageable, it seemed. Just from the get-go. And since I mostly stopped biting my nails, fucking something I always notice after I stop doing that for a while is like, man, these fucking nails, they could get long after a while, and they could be really not vicious, but if you don't cut them somewhat often with like a nail clipper, fucking It can be pretty uncomfortable at times. But, you know, they also have their own uses, having some somewhat longer nails. They have utility. Yeah, I have a habit of picking at my nails. Yeah, I used to, like I said, I used to bite them. I mean, I hopefully won't start biting them again. I mean, I still sometimes bite them a little bit, but, not that much like I was a few months ago. But, I do definitely pick at them like I did, like I just started doing like a minute or two ago. To get some of that excess big pieces and fucking nail off. Without just straight up clipping them. Brewing UI, I think all I'm gonna do is change these to this folder. UI brewing instead of crafting a UI. Or maybe I will anyway. And just get something working in-game first, and then expand on that, like... As I was kind of gonna do initially. So you know what? Yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna nuke that entire bullshit that ChatGPT was trying to do with the fucking... the UI stuff. And, yeah, I'll just... completely start from what I was going to be doing otherwise, or whatever. The crafting UI. I have that already, so now I'll try to just kind of copy what I was doing and try to design as I go what I need. Instead of, like, this whole fucking, oh yeah, design everything at once. Rudy, are you at work today, by the way? I'm guessing not, because I would imagine Sunday is probably not very, high-volume days for the place you're at. Well, then okay, maybe it is, honestly, but... yeah. I know that a lot of stores close early on Sunday, but, I would imagine probably a place with a pharmacy would be fucking, Boomer Central, or, I imagine it would be Boomer Central on Sunday, especially in that kind of area with the Christian types and all that bullshit. Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe not, because the boomers, you know, they gotta go to church, they gotta do their virtue signaling bullshit. So maybe they wouldn't be going out on Sundays. Probably after church, though. Gotta get their meds. Their meds and their AI photos printed. Yeah, I'll launch Unity again. Just to get the metadata stuff updated. And, Sunday gets busy around 11 a.m. when church releases. Yeah, I figure. Oh, man. Then around 6 p.m., per usual, the Fent crowd comes along. Yeah. Dude, oh yeah, that was the other story you told. Now I remember. It was the Fent, what's whatever the drug is to counteract fentanyl overdose. The guy fucking ODing on that or whatever the fuck, or having a episode with that, fucking passing out in the bathroom. That was at least that was the other story that I just remembered when you brought that up. Narcan or whatever, yeah. Fucking weird as shit, man. It's like, fucking that Narcan is probably fucking designed after that fixer drug that they added in Fallout New Vegas. That is, I think it removes addictions, I think. Because I think in the other games, or at least in Fallout 3, I think you could only remove addictions at a doctor. You couldn't use a drug, or maybe Fixer, it might have been a temporary. It might have been, Fixer might have been only a temporary, addiction downside remover. Like it suppressed the addiction downsides, I think. I could be wrong, though. It might have actually entirely fixed it, but yeah. Oddly enough, I always forget that drug is just a big part of Fallout. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's about as, I guess it makes about as much sense as potions in a fantasy setting, pretty much. It's just that the drugs have the potential downsides with them of being the addictions. Then, you know, you got health potions, which are just the fucking stim packs, pretty much. It's funny that for some reason stim packs don't have any, like, potential chance of being addictive besides in Fallout New Vegas, the super stim packs. Which I don't know if that's you could be addicted to those, or they actually hurt you afterwards or something. But, yeah, for some reason stim packs have no issue. But everything else can, pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna edit my note and just be like, my note in my personal Discord note thing, be like, alright, edit 1. Yeah. Decided for the UI design stuff, I'm just going to mostly not use ChatGPT for the overall design, because it was way too goddamn confusing and convoluted for my liking. So I'm just I'm just going to do my own thing there, and occasionally ask it for help with small bits of code. Ask for help with small bits of code and such. Yeah. And Rudy, you just said, yeah, I was going to mention that Stimpak's not having a negative is weird. Yeah, it is. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you just got this magical fucking, it's still a drug, essentially. You got this magical thing that has no downsides. And it just keeps you alive. Through bullets and everything. It's like, okay. It's about as believable as health potions in fantasy settings. It's kind of, speaking of that, it's kind of surprising Then again, I guess then people would just say it's just potion brewing or whatever. That they don't have in Fallout, that they never had something where you could craft your own, like, drugs. Craft your own, like, custom drugs, like I'm doing with this alchemy system, have, like, so you can combine, so, but yeah, they don't give a fuck enough. They just have their own little, or whatever you'd call it, like, name brand drugs in the universe, and they're like, alright, just reuse all those. Yeah, the blood vials from Bloodborne reminds me of the stim pack, yeah. Essentially, that is just kind of interesting that in the Fallout universe they don't have crafting your own drugs or some dumb shit, but who knows, maybe when they make a Fallout 5 they'll do that. Well, okay, you could craft drugs in Fallout 4, but you could just craft the generic ones. You know, you can't, like, craft, like, custom ones with, like, custom effects and stuff. But then I guess that would take a little more modicum of thought than they're willing to, invest into the stupid shit now with that game, with that series, or with that franchise, so, fuck. I suppose I can make a mod, but I don't give a fuck enough about Fallout at this point, so no thanks. I'm trying to think what the hell. Okay, that's what I was doing. I was launching the Unity editor, and I just wanted the metadata to get updated. That was it. And now I need to start reading through this script and trying to retrofit it to my current needs instead of what it originally was for, which was a different UI system and a different mod that I didn't finish yet, the mod, so, but it's still a work in progress, but the UI was working and it was pretty decent. At least in terms of its functionality, so I think it's a good example to go by. A good template to go by to some extent. And man, this fucking winter has been brutal on my skin, man. My fucking, at least my skin on my, like, hands and shit, like, it's so fucking, it's been so dry this entire fucking winter. So much so, on my right hand, my fucking, like, not my knuckles, but the bumps, when you make a fist, the ones that protrude the most after, or before the knuckles, whatever that's called, this part, or whatever, they started fucking cracking, and anytime I would make a fist, it would be kind of a little painful, and, some parts would start actually, like, bleeding, because they would be cracked so much. So I had to use this fucking liquid bandage shit to, let that stuff heal for a few days. And eventually when the cracks went away, now I've been using this, like, lotion, moisturizer stuff that we had in the house, and I've just been putting it on a thin layer a few times a day, usually on those areas. I think it's definitely working, but it's still fucking dry as shit, man. It's a lot better than it fucking cracking every time I make a fist or something. But, you know, it's still fucking dry as shit. Yeah, I never used liquid bandage before, but yeah, it works pretty fucking good, honestly. I think it worked a lot better than a normal bandage. It was more water resistant after it hardened than a normal bandage. Though I'm sure people can, you know, say some bullshit about, oh man, like microplastics or so whatever the fuck, but whatever, man. You think the fucking bandages themselves don't have any of that shit either? Come on. But I would definitely recommend, if you have that kind of issue, liquid bandage is pretty useful, I would say. And it worked pretty, I mean, I had to layer it on a few times, like, maybe twice I would put some on, like, a day, and then for, like, 3 days, but by that point it was pretty much healed the spots that kept opening up, so... Worked good. I liked it. But yeah, I don't recall ever having my hands that dry. Like, yeah, this winter's been fucking brutal, man. In that regards. I guess in many regards, in that sense. Yeah, like, those spots would have been, like, basically useless for most bandages, besides maybe, like, those really small circular ones, but even then, they would have eventually fallen off anytime, like, after making a fist or whatever motion enough. Yeah, because that's essentially that's what the stupid liquid bandage is, just fucking super glue, so... That's essentially all it is, so... That would definitely work. So I think super glue, when it's hardening, actually can be kind of pretty painful. Just because, I think it actually heats up whatever, like, reaction happens for it to start, solidifying. It, like, actually heats up and can fucking make your skin feel like it's burning in that spot. Not that, you know, the liquid bandage didn't do similar. Because, putting that stuff onto the cut, like, directly was, definitely stung quite a bit. Alright, Man. Even though I was confused by ChatGPT, which I definitely was. Man, trying to play Link to the Past. Man, trying to play Link to the Past, I had the game as a kid and I played it so much that I'm sick of it. Yeah. It's funny, like, I know Link to the Past is, like, in a lot of people's opinions, like, probably the best, like, overhead Zelda or whatever the fuck, but I don't know. It's not that it's not that I don't think I would like the game, because I think I did play the overhead Zelda game on, like, the Game Boy original one, and, you know, I was alright with that, but, I probably didn't play Link to the Past for very long. I don't know, just, didn't seem like it would have kept my, what do you call it, not my attention necessarily, but, like, I don't know. It wouldn't have gripped me that much, I guess. Maybe as a kid, but, like, definitely not now. I'm like, eh. But weirdly enough, with a walkthrough, the original Zelda I was able to complete and had quite a bit of fun doing that. Yeah, Super Mario World, yeah, like, I never beat Super Mario World. I've seen it beaten many times, but I've never beat it myself. And it probably comes down to, as we just said, like, I don't know, it's just something that after a point it just kind of loses my interest. It's not as it's a little overhyped in a way. Yeah, I think at this point Zelda 1 people suck its dick a little too much. But it's definitely pretty fun, I think, if you have a walkthrough at least, just because, I don't know, some of the secrets, even though people say that, oh, it's so, some people say, oh, it's the secrets are so easy and shit, but I'm like, I don't know, some of those secrets are fucking obnoxious or whatever. Zelda 2 is way more engaging, although Ocarina of Time is becoming a favorite. Yeah, Zelda 2, it's funny that they never tried that again, because just the fact that it was so unique compared to all the other Zelda games afterwards is is pretty just amusing that they never tried it again. I'd love to legit see someone try to 100% Zelda 1 without a guide from the start. Yeah, it's like, come on. I mean, you could fucking, like, literally do the candle and all that bullshit on every single tile of every tree or whatever and be like, oh yeah, see how easy this is? And it's like, well, yeah, okay, fine. But that's, most people aren't gonna be doing that bullshit. I guess the first thing I'm gonna be doing is trying to get the what do you call it? The individual components of the UI and textures and stuff just into the right places or whatever on the screen. That's probably the first thing I'll do. And then kind of go from there with the actual logic and shit. But do I think I'm gonna do that today? Probably not. I don't know. After deciding I'm not using ChatGPT's bullshit, I'm a little bit slightly like I don't feel like doing much of anything right now. Kind of just feel like fucking off and chilling, I guess. I don't know. Even though I know this ain't that hard. Zelda 2 NPCs tell you exactly where to go throughout the game, despite what YouTube idiots repeat. Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's better than Simon's Quest, where apparently, I guess many of them just straight up lie to you, so... People can't really complain about that with Zelda 2. And, you know, reading is hard, guys. Start working on the logic stuff itself and go from there. Yeah. I'll just make that note for myself. And, I think I'll close out of this for today. Because I don't think I can... My focus is now gone. I don't feel like, working on that anymore right now. Yeah, despite the jank translation. Sort of like Chrono Trigger and how others think Marl is D-tier character. Others repeat others' opinions as fact. Wouldn't mind doing the playthrough of Chrono Trigger with Marl in my main group. Yeah, I mean, I had Marl for like a good part of the game, but then after I got like Isla and Robo, no, after I got Frog and Isla, I mostly stopped using Marl. That's for sure. Well, actually, no, Isla, she went well with Marl. So, after I got Frog, I kind of stopped using her for most situations. And I started just using, like, Frog and, Luca more than anything. Isla Marl is pretty OP yeah. Hope I didn't distract you. No, it's not that you were distracting me, because I was getting that shit done with ChatGPT even when you joined. It's just like, after I did that, I was just like, I'm just feeling, I'm like, I know what I'm gonna have to do, and I'm gonna have to go into the game and just like test and retest and fuck with the window sizes and stuff, get everything in the right position, import the textures that I have and stuff. And it's just like busy work, and I'm just like, I don't feel like doing that right now. It's fucking like 8:30. I'm like, nah, I'll do that another time. I'll do that next time. But right now, I don't feel like doing any of that shit. I'm glad I made that decision though. That I'm just like, all right, fuck the fuck the ChatGPT's whatever it was trying to do, because if I kept trying to go down that rabbit hole, it would have just made me... It would have just wasted even more time. I'm just like, nah, fuck that. ChatGPT ain't gonna be that helpful in this case. It's too, It's going too deep into this weird fucking bullshit design of, like, how to do it properly. You know what, ChatGPT? I don't care how you do it properly by copy and pasting some other fucking Pajit's code from fucking India that he done 20 years ago. Fucking... Nah. I want to make it work on my end. I don't really give a fuck about some of the stupid rules you're trying to implement. Fuck it. This ain't some professional code base. Sorry. This is just fucking some random modder's code base. Thanks. But, you know, A for effort, ChatGPT. But, what else, you know what I could do? Since, how long have I been streaming? Just a little bit over, like, 2 hours and 5 minutes, pretty much. I guess I could, do I even feel like doing that? Not really. I was gonna say fuck with the, some of the sprites in GIMP, some other ones, but that's not really that necessary right this moment. Nah, fuck it. I'm just gonna be lazy now. But what do I want to be lazy with? I mean, I could, might, oh yeah, I have to put out the trash, I know that, for tomorrow. Not that that's a big deal. Gotta do that. What else? I gotta see if the dishwasher needs to be turned on. And then I might touch myself and play some DRG afterwards. Maybe. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking of. And what was the other thing I was thinking of doing? Fucking, oh yeah, I was gonna make a video, possibly, when I make frittatas next time, probably do that. I don't know if I'll do it with the GoPro or the, just have the other thing, the, tripod. But then again, that would still be with the GoPro, but, yeah, I might use the GoPro on my head. That seems to work pretty well, generally. Even though it's a little uncomfortable after, like, an hour of wearing it, but that whole process shouldn't take an hour. Or it shouldn't take more than an hour, anyway. What was Matt's video today? Oh, Matt's video today was, fucking the free voice. And he did mention the cucumber. Fucking, as I'm literally eating a cucumber, yeah, a little goon sesh. Then again, I don't know. I have to see how my dick is feeling. See if it feels like getting touched or not. Sometimes it's just not in the mood. Yeah, I don't know what kind of lunches you make. I mean, you said you make quesadillas a lot, or you said you make quesadillas quite a bit, but I imagine those are pretty kind of uninteresting, I guess, because it's probably mostly just putting a few things that are pre-made into a quesadilla, and that's maybe cooking it with like a press or whatever for a few minutes or some shit. See how long this song has left. Still got like 15 minutes or so, 10 minutes. I've always got plenty of ideas for, like, baking shit, because I just have such a large list of bookmarked recipes and shit that I've looked up and shown interest in or whatever. So I almost always have something if I feel like it to make. Similar with cooking stuff, but usually I default for the cooking stuff to fairly easy and stuff that you can make in bulk and shit. Like, you know, macaroni and cheese, and sometimes the shepherd's pies, and chicken pot pies. Obviously, I guess those frittatas recently. Chicken salad, all that kind of bullshit. Stuff that lasts a long enough time to be eaten before it gets funny, but also be made in bulk. If I was unemployed, I'd probably get into cooking from scratch more. Yeah, I think that's probably what, well, okay, people that actually have the desire to do that. Like, I know there's plenty of people that are unemployed that are just lazy fucks and don't do any cooking anyway. They're just fucking lazy motherfuckers. But, you know, like, when you're working, it's definitely a lot harder to get the motivation to do anything after and before work, because it just sucks up so much of your time and your energy. I think some of the stuff that some of the more difficult recipes, like, can be obnoxious as fuck, I know that. Not because, like, it's just some of the stuff is just, like, unnecessarily, complicated in some cases, like, I'm trying to think of a recipe that I remember was like that. Fucking some of these baking recipes are really obnoxious, like making cinnamon buns is surprisingly annoying because you have to fucking You have to do it like bread, like you know, bread risen with yeast and shit. So you gotta fucking, you gotta mix it with the yeast. You gotta let it proof, and then you gotta punch it down afterwards, like for after an hour. So it's like a fucking, it's like a whole day of waiting just for it to proof and shit, and it's just like annoying for how much you get out of it. So cinnamon buns are one of those kind of things that it's like, yeah, that's a pretty annoying thing to, I mean, it's a surprisingly high effort baked good compared to some others, just for how long you have to do the proofing bullshit and everything. Similar with stuff like that you have to fry, just because frying can be such a messy fucking, messy process and everything. You gotta have it set up, like, unless you have, like, an industrial fryer, like, most people aren't gonna be frying all the goddamn time. It's just annoying and messy and everything. Even though I do want to do some recipes where I fry, like, something... Probably bagels would be fun to try at least once, because you don't have to fry anything, you just have to boil them in water after they've, after you shape them and shit. And that's what gives them their kind of, like, weird... the weird outer crust, but with the inner soft part and everything, the boiling in water and shit. But I don't care usually enough about bread to, like, want to make it all the fucking time, so I'm like, whatever. Even though I know that's the generic masculine cooking or baking thing is bread. Like, apparently only men can make... Apparently bread is really mostly for men. Quote-unquote men. And baking sweets is for the women and the faggots. That is the trope in the reality. As I've brought up a few times. Hey. Yeah, it's just... I mean, I personally, I'm sure there's many examples of other, like, hobbies or whatever you want to call it, other things or skills or whatever, that have this weird fucking, like, this weird race or gender or whatever you want to call it, like, tropes that for some reason, like, it seems to just always be the case, but baking is especially that, or it's especially prevalent with that. Fucking, it's flamboyant faggot men and women, and there's almost like no tradition, whatever you want to say, traditionally, or just like somewhat masculine, not fucking flamboyant faggot dudes that do it openly or whatever. It's very strange. The only example is dudes with bread for some stupid reason, because apparently, yeah, bread, that's fine. Bread is fine for men, but anything else besides that, that's not cool. You could cook steaks or you could cook bread, that's it. Oh yeah, this song is pretty good. I mean, I think a lot of the songs on these playlists that I have are pretty good, but I like this one. Almost sounds like something from like a fucking some like kids edutainment game, like from the SNES or some bullshit for some reason. At least part of it did. Maybe think of like something like the Sesame Street, like fucking shitty games or something. Yeah. I don't know, there's just something about it that made me think of, like, fucking, that's, I don't know, that, like, Sesame Street game or, like, Elmo game on either the NES or it probably was the NES. I feel like I remember renting that as a kid or some bullshit where it was, like, you had to spell out letters or some dumb shit. Just something about it. That or one where you were, like, Elmo or something, and something about, like, leading a rubber duck through, like, a maze sort of thing that you built or some bullshit. Something like that. I don't know. It's fucking very weird memory to come up from that. But the fact that you knew what I was talking about shows that, yeah, it really does give that vibe. that particular part of the song. I remember shortly after my dad died, I stayed with my older sister and her son, which was my nephew, had a Sesame Street game for the NES. Yeah, fucking, it's weird. How many kids probably played those fucking NES edutainment games with, like, Sesame Street? And they weren't even good. It's just like, it was probably something their parents just were like, well, I'm sure they'll like it. It's got Elmo on it. It's got Big Bird on it. And, you know, now the stuff with Elmo being a PDF and shit, oh no, they were trash games. Yeah, it's yeah, it's like, I think I remember this one in, school. Probably a lot of people know that one. It was like Math Blaster or some shit. That was a pretty fun edutainment game I remember from, like, on the school computers or something. Imagine being turned off of video games for life because your dumb parents buying you a shit game like that. Yeah, I could see that. Maybe Billy should have done that with his son. He should have gave him some shit games. If he didn't want him to play video games. But then again, I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like as a Gen Z or Gen Alpha, like, the only way, in a lot of cases, you're going to be socializing outside of school is just going to be on the internet now. So, and the internet is going to mostly be stuff like video games and shit. So, I think almost no matter what, the Gen Z and Gen Alpha are going to be, like, somewhat accustomed to playing video games just for socialization purposes. Give them Action 52, man. Fucking Action 52 pay like $200 for complete garbage. Now, if you showed him Action 52 on emulator, that could work. That's free. Just imagine that. Just to make your son or child not play video games, downloading an emulator, and then only getting Action 52 ROM, and then being like, here, play this. This is what video games are. Armac21 told a story where his parents got him Action 52 and he was almost put off from video games. Wow. That is certainly very curious. That yeah, I mean, I guess anything, like if you had a bad enough experience with something like any kind of hobby, I guess from the very beginning, you'd be like, well, I guess this sucks. I don't think I'm gonna do that again. You'd probably be pissed off later on if you ever tried an actual decent video game where, like, wow, my entire childhood was a lie. Video games weren't all shit like that. Except in current year, where now all the modern games are basically as shit as that, so hey. I was raised on good games, thank God. I don't know, yeah, I mean, I think I was mostly raised on good games in that sense as well, because I did play a few shit games, but I mostly played mediocre. Alright, no, I mostly played decent to good games. Not even like a few mediocre ones, but like never, usually nothing that was like completely awful. I can remember a few rented games that were pretty bad, but like not like offensively bad. Thinking back, Nightshade and Goonies 2 was probably the strangest of the bunch, considering they're not typical genres that were popular. Yeah, and I mean the Goonies was a weird one because it had the fucking two different game modes, kind of the kind of point and click like adventure shit with the whatever you call it, like that kind of thing, and then the side scrolling. I think I rented more shit SNES games than NES games. I mean, we did talk about that before, where the SNES really didn't actually have that great of a game library at the end of the day. Like it was a lot of crap, a surprising amount of crap. I mean, the NES was the same deal, but it didn't seem nearly as bad in some ways. Actually, Bubsy was one of them. Wow. I guess more the Bobcat thing coming up there. Fucking that is strange that every cat in these things is fucking Bobcat. Uh, I never played. Yeah, I did never play Bubsy like any of the games. I just only heard of them from the internet when I got older or whatever. Though honestly, like Bubsy on the SNES doesn't seem like that bad. Besides like the kind of shitty designs of like, oh, you have fall damage, you have one hit deaths, or you have like one hit that you have, and like kind of the shitty parts of that. But like some of it, like the art assets and music and stuff actually seem not that bad. Um, yeah, what the fuck is the deal with Bobcats? Bubsy isn't bad. Questionable designs, it doesn't seem as bad as people like make it out to be, that's for sure. Like Bubsy 3D seems pretty awful just because the controls and everything. But then again, people fucking liked oh shit, what was that game on the PlayStation 1? The Crocodile Croc. Yeah, people liked Croc and that game had fucking pretty shitty controls. Even though that game was definitely better than Bubsy, but that game had very similar bullshit just because of that. So, like, Bubsy 3D is not completely outside of like everything else in terms of shittiness. It is pretty bad, but it's like, uh, there's other similar shitty design or shitty controls and everything back in that time anyway. So, oops. Uh, Supposedly Croc was a prototype for a Mario game for the Disk System that Nintendo and Sony were going to collab on. Yeah, I could imagine that. I mean, Croc's his main thing is the fucking jumping. Honestly, on most things, like, he's got the tail swipe, but Mario 64 technically has punches and dives, so it's like really not that much different at the end of the day. And Croc himself, he could have just been a prototype of say Yoshi in that kind of thing. Who fucking knows? He could have been like, if you ever found Yoshi or some shit, you could ride him or something. Who knows? But yeah, I think they did a good choice there. Then, the not milk Nintendo did a good choice there to not have that be a Mario game because, yeah, I don't think that would have been nearly as influential as Mario 64. That's for sure. But I guess then again, the disc system itself was quite the failure overall. So Miyamoto's obsession with Yoshi, yeah. Fucking furry Miyamoto. Did you know Miyamoto? I think I mentioned that once. That Miyamoto. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned that you at least once. That Miyamoto was like supposedly really. That's like his hobby is fucking dog breeding or whatever, like fucking dog breeding like competition dog breeding and weird shit like that. Fucking furry motherfucking demon Miyamoto, not milk demon. I had forgotten about that. Yeah, it's fucking weird thing to think about. Yeah, furry dog nutter for sure. It's just like I don't even know like what kind of what a weird fucking stupid hobby to have or whatever like dog breeding really fucking mutants purposeful mutant making really fucking how about you just make one of those stupid monster games that you make the mutant fucking the mutant monsters and shit instead of making doing it in real life with fucking animals you dick. Well, that's Pokemon. So yeah, it's I don't know if Digimon had that kind of shit where you like, because in Pokemon, it's not like you could really, as far as I know, it's not like you could really breed two different animals together to make some, or like two slightly different things to make something different. They just all have the same kind of like base templates to an extent. But what other game did have that kind of stuff? Like I think something like Slime Rancher would be like a modern example of something that I'm thinking of, like that kind of shit. I'm sure Shiggy Miggy would love rooster fighting, uh, breed super mutant chickens and have them fight each other. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm sure maybe that's the cover is dog breeding when it's really cockfighting. I'm sure that in Japan they have quite the cockfighting underground cockfighting stuff. Because the whole thing with they everybody loves gambling so much, but supposedly they're not allowed to do it in Japan, so they have to do it all underground and all this dumb shit. Okay, monkey. Okay, monkey. Maybe Shigeru Miyamoto, if in his cockfighting, he helped fund that the Cock of War game. Uh, but all right, it just struck 9 o'clock, and I think I'm mostly yeah. What an odd fractal the fucking chicken fractal is. I do like it though. Chickens are cool, man. Eggs are fucking magical, and chickens are magical because of that. Uh, I think it's an interesting fractal. I hope it goes on. I hope it continues. More chickens, please. But yeah, it just hit 9 o'clock. I think I think I'm done streaming for today. I think I streamed a little bit long enough. Didn't really do exactly what I thought I was gonna do, but at least I got something accomplished. But thanks for coming along, Rudy, and if anybody else is listening to this, thanks for listening, and I will see you in the next one whenever that happens or whatever. But yeah, take care, everyone, and have a good night.